Hey everyone, welcome back to FedBiz Exchange. I'm Michelle Brown, your coach and your mentor. And today I want to briefly talk to you guys about sources sought and how important it is. I'm going to walk through sam.beta.gov, which is also known as FBO.gov, and show you how important sources sought can be for your industry, no matter what it is. Sometimes the government is looking for you and you don't realize it. When you ignore sources sought or you don't respond to them, all you do is miss opportunities. So let's review what that means. So if I click on FBO, I'm already in sam.beta.gov. I click on FBO, and then I'm going to come down here to search contract opportunities. And remember how it works. Sources sought is the beginning of the process. Remember this, the federal agencies are not putting out sources sought and or requests for information if they're not looking for you. That means it's the beginning of the process. They're trying to decide if they're going to set it aside. You know how I've been talking about set asides lately, but this is your opportunity to get in front of some of those contracting officers looking for you. They wouldn't do a sources sought to look for big business. They only do that to look for small businesses, 8As, hub zone, veteran certified businesses. That's what they're looking for, small disadvantaged minority owned businesses. So they're looking for you. You need to respond to these. I've always called these golden nuggets. They're your opportunity to market yourself to the federal government, any agency. They all do it when they're looking for you. So let's talk about how do we do that. When you're doing your daily lookarounds, is what I call it, you should do sources sought anyway, but I'm just going to put in as the type of notice. I came down to the bottom. I'm putting in the type of notice as sources sought. Okay. Now, what if I know what my PSC code is, or I know the PSC code that I'm looking for? You can do this with any of your PSC codes. I'm just going to do it with a high level code of, I'm going to use my own 65. So my codes are always 65 for my medical. Okay, let's see if there are some sources sought out there for me in my industry. Well, it looks like there are, and there are some brand new ones. Some that are one due December 15th. Now, what I would do is I'd look at all of these. I'd look at the date that I need to respond. You look at the current response date. Sometimes I would even respond even if the current response date is passed. You know why? Not too old, but within, a week or so, or even within the last 2 weeks, because they're still likely in the process of deciding. Because after the source is sought, then they're going to decide if they're going to set it aside. So that's what's important. So I see how many sources sought for me. It says there are 277. A lot of them may be old. So I will just focus on the newer ones that are due in December. What I would do is look at some of these opportunities just from the name of the title of the contract. And if anything is appealing to me that looks like something I could do, like this, mid-mark barrier-free exam table, that's medical supplies for me. I could do all of that. So what I would do is click on that opportunity. It's due December 14th. I would click on that opportunity to make sure that they are still in the sources sought phase, which they are, because it's not due until December 14th. I would come down here, and do you see right here where it says no set aside? Because they haven't decided yet. They want small businesses to respond so that they can give it a set aside. Maybe veterans, maybe woman owned, maybe just total small business. I would read all of this information here and make sure it's something I can actually do. Then I would come down here and open up the document to respond to whatever they're asking me to do. Okay, so I have the document open, and as you can see, it says sources sought at the very top. I have the contracting officer information down here at the bottom. Now I want to go and look at the statement of work, which sometimes they'll give you an overview of the situation. Now, this is a little bit unusual. They're actually asking for pricing, which means that they're a little bit desperate to see what's going on and to see what they want to do with this. They're looking for people to respond. Normally, they would ask you for your company information, maybe ask you, can you supply what they're asking for? But in this case, they're actually asking for pricing. Okay, so I would do that. I would give them the pricing and I would put the information in here. I would come down to make sure there is all of the other information that I need to know, make sure I'm not missing anything. But this is very unusual. It does happen. They're even telling me the delivery date. They want to make sure that the people that are responding can actually meet the requirements for this sources sought. But again, this is a little bit unusual for sources sought. We do have a template that you should create for yourself, whether you create it on your own or take a look at the one that we have. You need to make sure that you're able to respond to these right away. I know sometimes they seem like, I don't have time to do these, but you need to make the time. This is your opportunity to get in front of the contracting officer, as I constantly mention. So they're like golden nuggets. I always say that, but it's true. Sometimes they can call you from your reply to the sources sought. So in my case, I would respond to this. Of course, I would talk to my supplier, my medical supplier, just to make sure that they could get me this equipment in a timely fashion before I promised something that I could or could not deliver. Even if I couldn't deliver it within, let's say they want it within 7 days, but I can deliver it within 15 or 20 days, I would still respond. I want to get in front of them. I want them to know who my company is, and I want them to reach out to me just like they would with any other situation if they're wanting to send out something special to a group of people that can meet the needs for something like this. Some of the contracting officers build their own list. Now, they have to do it by law, but there are times where they get desperate and they really need something quickly. They can reach out to a list of people that they know may be able to supply this type of equipment or whatever the industry is. Okay, so this would not take me very long. I would just get the pricing from my supplier. I would just make sure all these details are covered, and then I would find out when I could work with my supplier to get these items delivered, in this case the tables. Okay, and that's it. But you need to answer the questions that they ask you in these sources sought. Sometimes they're just asking you for a capability statement, but it's that simple. It takes maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but if you don't have a template, it could take you a little bit longer. But you never know when this is going to generate an email from the contracting officer or a telephone call. So always be ready or always be preparing to win or to get some doors open. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe.